Today's a holiday in India.
Yes. Republic
Day.
Yes.
There were so many people here yesterday.
Yeah.
I saw also Chennai had a lot of people coming to the temple there.
Yes, Maharaj, because one point is they have a beach is nearby and they have some entertainment park very near. So what they do is they go to the entertainment park and come to the temple, visit, have prasadam and go. That's the cycle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We go to the beach.
We go to the beach, they have the entertainment park there.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the park, come to the temple, take darshan, eat prasad and go. Mm-hmm. So thousands come on Saturday and Sunday. Huge numbers.
Yeah, I saw. But yesterday also, my goodness, so many cars were there. The whole car park, the whole area was
Full car. The income was come.
Full income, 300 rupees.
Huh?
300 rupees per car, Maharaj.
Per car.
For parking?
Yes.
Oh, they charge car parking?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
200 for the cars and 300 for the buses.
200 for the car, 300 for bus.
Big bus.
Wow, they must be doing good and
Yeah,
Huge.
huge.
Commute truck.
TOP can be maintained by parking.
Huh?
TOP, some budget can be come from parking.
We can build a TOBP from the car park.
Yeah.
And now they're selling prasadam 30 rupees a plate.
Yes.
Very cheap.
Yeah.
30 rupees.
Festival time.
Huh?
Festival time.
4 days only.
This, yeah. 4 days, huh? 4 days only, Maharaj.
Or just for 4 days?
Yeah.
Prasadam rupees 30 rupees. That rupees a bit expensive. 50, 60, 70, 80, 150, 400.
Yeah.
50 minimum now. Sulab
50 minimum.
Sulab kitchen.
Because 30 earlier, but now what is more expensive, bit expensive.
But yesterday, they were selling 30 rupees yesterday.
Yes, no, they are only for 4 days, Maharaj.
Festival. Government.
What about Nityananda Trayodasi? They will also do it for Nityananda Trayodasi?
It's not free. For us, it is free. For the those who stay in ISKCON Mayapur compound.
What?
Other people, but khana, lunch. Other devotees, it is whatever rate they have. It's not free. For us, in ISKCON community,
Gaur Purnima?
What Purnima is free?
It's free for 1 week, I guess. 1 week or 10 days.
Not
Huh?
1 week they give some coupons, Maharaj. You can eat for free.
Take for free?
Yes.
No, it's stopped now. For Mayapur community, it's just Jagannath Mishra feast. But the day after, like Gaur Purnima,
Yes.
the Jagannath Mishra feast for outside, like for the visitors. And the day after the Jagannath Mishra feast is the feast for community devotees. So it's Gaur Purnima
after 2 days,
and after 2 days.
But last year they gave some free coupons for 1 week, Maharaj. Last year they
that is for those who come to Mayapur.
People outside, yeah.
Not for community.
Yeah, come here.
But for outside people they are giving coupons, Maharaj. During Gaur Purnima, 1 week free prasad, morning, evening.
1 week? Free prasadam?
Free
Yeah.
prasad.
Lunch, dinner, roti.
Gada Bhavan Gita Bhavan.
You will show your proof that you are staying here.
Gada Bhavan, Gita
Yeah.
Bhavan?
Yeah.
Yes, Maharaj.
Free?
You have to take coupon, Maharaj. Register and take coupons.
Proof, one proof. You are staying in Vrindavan. You can give.
Oh, they only give coupons to people staying in Vrindavan?
Yes. You have to stay. Otherwise, not for everybody.
Not for outside.
They have to show the guest house keys and then they will give them the coupon.
Oh, yeah. And now they built these houses also, this Prabhupada.
Village. Yeah.
Very nice.
They're expensive.
No, not very expensive. Eh?
It is expensive.
2000, no?
2,000 something, yeah.
Vietnam.
The room in the lotus is 5,000, isn't it?
But Prabhupada village is also congested rooms.
Small room, very small
And
room.
lotus is nice.
Huh?
The conch building flats are nice, better than
Spacious.
spacious. Yeah, that's the word.
Spacious.
I did not know this.
I stayed in college, I stayed in Vaibhava, Shiran, all are there, including Pamsi guest house.
Which is
Every year stayed.
your favorite guest house?
But now they're changing it.
Huh?
They're changing and improving it.
Yeah. College they are best, super.
They started the rocks
All
from
5,000 crores. That time it is cheap. That time we have lab number 2.
Vishwanath 2000.
Vishwanath good actually.
Vishwanath is almost
Super, right action.
Okay, so we're still on Maharaj Parikshit's question, right?
Yes.
So here's text number 6. Britasura was situated in a blazing fire of battle and was an infamous sinful demon, always engaged in giving troubles and anxieties to others. How could such a demon become so greatly Krishna conscious? Sounds like our Hare Krishna devotees, eh? Before we come in. Purport, it has been described that a Narayana Parayana, a pure devotee, is rarely found even among millions and millions of persons. So what was the reason for Vritasura's advancement? And then he said, Maharaj Parikshit continues, although Vritasura was a sinful demon, he showed the prowess of a most exalted Kshatriya and satisfied Lord Indra in battle. How could such a demon be a great devotee of Lord Krishna? These contradictions have caused me great doubt, and they have made me eager to hear of this from you. So, Maharaj Parikshit is revealing his doubts. How could all this be possible? Alright, so then Sukadev, Sutta Goswami. So Sutta Goswami is speaking. Sutta Goswami is coming. After hearing Maharaj Parikshit's very intelligent question, Sukadeva Goswami began answering his disciple with great affection. And then Sukadeva Goswami says, O king, I should speak to you the same history I have heard from the mouths of Vyasadeva, Narada and Devala. Please listen with attention. So, Sukadeva Goswami heard from Vyasadeva. Narada was the guru of Vyasadeva, Devala. He's heard from all three. All three of them have spoken. And then Sukadeva Goswami begins speaking about Chitraketu, who was a king in the province of Shurasena. Where is the Shurasena? Anybody know? Where is the province of Shurasena?
Mathura.
Where?
I thought he's related to Ugrasena, Mathura.
I don't know.
Ugrasena is father of Kausana. He is different, I think. Shurasena.
Anyway, this king ruled the entire earth. He ruled the entire earth. And during his reign, the earth produced all the necessities of life. Oh, that's very nice, right? They need rulers like that. Yes, Prabhu?
Maharaj, Shurasena is modern Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. Modern Mathura place in Uttar Pradesh.
Yes.
Shurasena. Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. Mathura.
Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, ma'am.
Mathura.
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 Yes.
So it's Mathura. Mathura Desh.
That's the Middle East.
Surasen.
Mus-
Oman.
Muscat.
Huh?
Mathura Desh is Muscat.
Muscat, yeah. I've been there. So anyway, he must have been a good king because the earth was producing all the necessities of life. When you have a good king, then everything is provided. When there is not a good ruler, then there will be scarcity. And then Prabhupada talks, this is the meaning of the word Kamaduk. Kamaduk means cow, right? Isn't it? Kamaduk. Supplying all the necessities. Supplying all the necessities. Very nice. And then quote the first canto. Maharaj Yudhisthira, during his time the clouds showered all the water that people needed, and the earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. And then Prabhupada, he says, we have experience, in some seasons the rains produce abundance, and in other seasons there is scarcity. We have no control over the earth's productiveness, for it is naturally under the full control of the Supreme Lord. This is there in the 4th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, also in the case of Maharaj Prithu. Right? When Maharaj Prithu was ruling the earth, there was scarcity. By his order, the Lord can make the earth produce sufficiently or insufficiently. A pious king rules the earth. According to Shastric injunction, there will naturally be regular rainfall and sufficient produce to provide for all men. No need for black marketeering and other corrupt dealings. There will be enough for everyone. Simply ruling the land cannot solve man's problems unless the leader has spiritual capabilities. He must be like Maharaj Yudhisthira, Parikshit Maharaj or Ramachandra. Then all the inhabitants of the land will be extremely happy. Now here in India, now we have Modi. He's been ruling the country. So some people are happy, but not everybody. Difficult to make everybody happy. Right? Even you get, like, you know, the Muslim people, they want to see a Muslim ruler. They want a Muslim ruler. They don't want a Hindu. Right? They don't want to promote Hinduism. They've got their own beliefs.
But like some places, states where Modi is ruling, there is prosperity.
More
prosperity compared to here. Like Gujarat, I think, is more prosperous compared to West
Yeah,
Bengal.
right. Yeah.
Because
Right.
they banned cow slaughter.
Usually you find that, but wherever, you know, when somebody, a big minister or something, then that place will come up. because he can arrange to put more money in there for the development. So they do that. But difficult to satisfy. You'll never please everyone. You always get some people. Even though he's giving money to so many people, and the Muslims also, they get so much money and everything. The poorer people, they're all getting money from the government, right? Nowadays in India, they give money to poor people.
Grains also. They give grains also. Groceries, they give rice, dal.
Yeah, right, ration. Yeah.
Lakshmi Bhai.
So, trying to keep everybody happy, impossible job. We try to please Krishna. Try to please Krishna and Guru. And if they're pleased, then very good. So Chitraketu is ruling the world, and he had 10 million wives. Wow!
Only.
More than Krishna.
He says only.
Only 10 million.
10 million wives, but not one child. Oh, Krishna. By chance, all the wives were barren. I think more of the king's problem than the wife's problem. You know, maybe it's a problem with the king. 10 million wives all barren. Yeah, that's a bit hard. I could believe the king was sterile or something, maybe, but anyway, that's what we're told. And all the wives were very beautiful and young, and he was born in a high family, complete education, wealthy and opulent, all assets, but full of anxiety because he did not have a son. Oh. So Prabhupada writes, Grihastha life does not mean having a wife and no children. So, what does that tell you? And then he quotes Charikya Pandit, Putrahinam griham sunyam. If a family man has no son, his home is no better than a desert. Well, what about if a man is married and he has daughters? Is his home still a desert? Well, I would think it'd be better to have daughters than to have a son, you know. Bring up boys, oh my God. Oh my God. Young boys, you know, can be very big trouble, you know, so much, they're so wild and so many things. You know, have a girl, little girls can be peaceful and gentle, you know. But boys, wow, wild and ooh, tantrums. So, anyway, Charikya Pandit said, no home, if you have no son, your home is like a desert. So, of course, you could say, well, that was in Charikya Pandit's time. You know, women didn't go to work then. Maybe times have changed. Could we say in the modern times it's no longer applicable? You know, women can also go out to work now, oh, right? Did you go out to work?
I work from home.
You work from home? On the computer? Yeah, not good. So yeah, women, generally women, you know, nowadays a lot of them go out to work. And we see even women coming here to Mayapur, cooking and cutting vegetables and stuff like that, you know. Women, generally in India though, we don't see women so much. You know, I mean, if you go to other countries, you see women everywhere. But in India, you know, especially in markets and like that, you don't see many women. It's all men. It's a lot of men, a lot more men. But the women are much more at home and taking care of the family and things like that, which is actually better, I think. I mean, that's where women should be, you know. But when the women go out to work, then it can be trouble. You know, because first of all, children are not taken care of, mother's not there. Mother's not there, she comes home at night, she'll be tired, you know, she's been working all day, it'll be difficult for her to come home and then start cooking and cleaning and everything and doing all the things that she's supposed to do. Yeah. Of course, a lot of women work and you have a maid come and do everything. And hire a maid. That's a common thing. A maid to take care of the children, a maid to cook, a maid like that. Or sometimes men get a man to cook. But to have no boy, to have no son. In India, is it still customary to give a dowry at the time of marriage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. The wife has to give a dowry to the man.
Even if it's not called a dowry, it's still given.
Yeah,
She has to bring jewelry and everything
Yes.
with her when she comes to
the
the...
bride's parents, they
or furniture or like house appliances.
Very high in South India, Maharaj.
oh God, very
Very
bad.
high. Well,
There are some castes in South India, in our state, where almost half the property is like given
Yeah.
dowry.
half the property
Yes.
is dowry.
And the word dowry you give is like something like the better husband you get or something.
My younger sister got married and my parents gave away everything. Now they stay in a rented house. Everything was given.
Really?
Everything, almost everything was given.
For her marriage.
Yeah,
They
she
give
was,
it-
she
they
was
give
the
it.
last, child, last daughter. So parents decided to give everything, and because the boy is from South India, they are Telugu people, they don't get married to any girl if she is not bringing dowry. So there is no marriage without dowry in South India.
No marriage without...
And it is demanded very badly. So like when the ceremony is going on, so they have a right to come and stop the ceremony. It's like the final payment has not been done, so first you give, only then they take the vows in the marriage. Otherwise the vows will not happen. So pujari is waiting, okay, finish the money. So it is always a drama during the wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, if the wedding stop, that means they did not give the dowry. And they won't eat food, like all the royal feast is cooked, but they won't eat. It's like first give dowry, then we start to eat.
And who pays for the wedding?
The girl's family
Everything girl, like the groom, the boy, he just comes,
gets married and goes.
gets married and he goes away. And in my younger sister's case, so when they are about to take my sister away, they say, where is the car? It's like, but she's going to your house, so you should bring a car to welcome her.
Yeah.
And I was like, you should make a preparation for the car. And then we immediately hired one car and then sent her.
Wow.
And is the marriage successful?
The boy is a devotee and he came and he requested us, Mataji, I'm stuck with this family. Somehow or the other fulfill all the demands. Once the marriage is done, I will take her and I will go and stay near some ISKCON temple and we will just be into Krishna consciousness and not be so much connected to them. But for now, please fulfill all their demands.
It's more like
But now he is separated and he stays near the ISKCON temple and they both go to temple and do services. But everything was given. For sure.
This is more like a family obligatory stuff. Like it goes to the family. Like it's not more like the husband and wife. It's more like family giving to the family. And the husband and wife don't get much. It's just the other in-laws and the other sister-in-laws, they enjoy.
In China, the boy has to give to the woman.
Oh wow, that's nice. I wish that happened.
Yeah, the boy's family has to give to the girl's family. If you want a wife, you have to pay for her.
Here it's the opposite.
Yeah. And it's the same in Africa.
Oh.
You want a wife, you have to pay for her to get a wife.
Saudi also, Saudi Arabia, same like that. So boy give big amount of the girl, big amount, huge amount, cars, so many cars, but boys will give, not girls will give.
Oh.
Yeah.
Arabic culture, nice. Is car. Is car.
So having a wife and no child, if you have, then there's once you get married, then there's pressure on you. Where's the child? Why haven't you had a child yet? Right? There's going to be like that. Is your sister didn't had a child yet? Did she deliver the child yet?
No.
No children?
No, just 1 year back they married. It's been 1 year.
No child yet?
No.
But the other sister has.
My other sister, she has two children.
How many sisters are you?
3 sisters. Elder and younger and myself.
Huh? And what?
One is elder, one is younger.
Oh.
Yeah, between.
No brother?
Brother was there, but he died in an accident
Oh.
during COVID.
Where?
Younger than me.
Here.
Hyderabad, South India.
Anyway, Grihastha life, a lot of trouble. Not easy, yeah?
Every day.
So anyway, this king was very unhappy, could not get a son. And of course, Kshatriyas, they can marry more than one wife. So the king married millions, but still no issue.
It's a big question. How do they remember the names of the wives? Wives' names, do they remember?
How could he remember so many names?
1, 2, 3, 4. He could just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10, 5. 10, 5.
1,80,455. Please come. Oh, maybe. Did you marry?
Number 1, number 2, number 3.
So he had so many wives, and it says here hundreds and thousands of queens, but they did not give any happiness to him because no child. Well, of course, for a king, somebody who's a king, it's very important to have the child, right? And the child should be a boy, right?
For kingdom.
Huh?
To be the king.
To be the king, to take the throne after the father departs, you know, it's a very, very big thing, very important. So that's what the pressure was on him, you see. Millions of years, 5,000 years ago, it's still there. And so Angira comes to visit. Angira was traveling all over the universe without engagement. And he came to the palace of King Chitraketu. So King Chitraketu receives him very nicely, offers worship, drinking water, eatables, sits him very comfortably, and the king sat on the ground at the Rishi's feet. So, very respectful in receiving the guest. That's very nice to see. The king, he's humble. And Chitraketu bends low in humility. The sage congratulated him for his humility and his hospitality. And then Andhira begins to question him. Right? Well, not immediately questioning him, but he's saying, he's telling him what he can see. He said, I hope your body and mind and your royal associates and paraphernalia are well. 7 properties of material nature. When the 7 properties of material nature are in proper order, the living entity is happy. And without these 7 elements, one cannot exist. Similarly, a king is always protected by 7 elements. His instructor or his guru, his ministers, his kingdom, his fort, his treasury, his royal order, and his friends. So, king has to have these things. But he has to have a kingdom. You can't be a king without a kingdom, right? The Pandavas had that problem. You know, they were Kshatriyas, but they had no kingdom. So that's why they had a war. So he needs a kingdom, and in the kingdom you have to have a fort, and you have to have money, the treasury. Very important. You're going to be a king, you have to have money. And the royal order, and his friends. You know, kings like to have their friends. Ministers to guide him. His instructor or guru. So like that, these are these 7 things which protect the king. King, somebody said, king is not going to be alone. You can't be alone. You have to have people around you. His ministers. And if these things are all proper, then the king is happy. And then that's compared to the soul. The soul is in the material covering. And we are covered by 7 elements. The Mahatattva, the ego, and the 5 objects of sense gratification. Right? What are the 5 objects of sense gratification? What would that be? The 5 objects of sense gratification.
Touch,
Taste.
form, taste, smell,
Sound.
sound.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So when these 7 are in proper order, then the living entity is in a mood of pleasure. And generally, when the associates of the king are quiet and obedient, the king can be happy. Therefore, the great sage Angira Rishi inquired about the king's personal health and the good fortune of his 7 associates. When we inquire from a friend whether everything is well, we are concerned not only with his personal self, but also with his family, his source of income, his assistants or servants. All of them must be well. Then a person can be happy. Right? Just like, how are you today? Oh, my son had an accident. Oh, my husband had this problem. You think you're not one, right? But everything in relation with the self, they all affect us. So, how are you today? Oh, Kaisa hoa? Balu achan. In Bengali, everybody always say Balu achan. And in Chinese also say like that. They'll say Ni hao ma. Are you good today? Ni hao. Hao is good. Ni, you, hao ma. Ni, are you good? Hao today? And then they'll mention Chipana mayo. Did you eat? Did you eat your food today? Did you eat? Have you had your meal yet? Yeah. If you ate your food, then it's good, right? You had your meal. So, the same culture all over the world, it's the same thing, just different language. So, Angira is asking the king about what's the situation. The king depends on his associate. When a king directly depends on his associates and follows their instructions, he is happy. And similarly, when his associates offer their gifts and activities to the king and follow his orders, they are also happy. So what is being said here? What is being said here is that somebody's a king, but you take instructions from other people. Are you ready to do that? Somebody's a king, they should be ready to follow the instructions of others. Then they'll be happy.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes. We have to always follow.
They should not just simply keep demanding or giving instruction. They should also receive instruction from saintly people.
Yeah, but should they be willing to take instructions from other people?
Yes.
Huh?
Up to them.
The king, he's the king sitting on the throne. People come to instruct him.
He should be instructed by the right people.
The ministers.
You know, Putin, Mr. Putin, many people came to him and told him, don't fight with the Ukraine, don't go to war, you know?
But he doesn't listen.
He didn't. But many important people, you know, countries like that, they pleaded with him that please don't do this. But,
He needs to take instructions. It's up to him if he acts on it.
well, yeah, you could say it's up to him, but you know, we should be willing to receive instructions, not just always give instructions, you know. Prabhupada writes here, a king should not simply give orders to his dependents. He shouldn't just simply give orders because he just thinking, well, I'm king, so I can do it. Sometimes he must follow their instructions. Sometimes, not every time, but sometimes he has to be willing to hear from others. And if they give good advice, you know, that we should consider. So then Prabhupada says, similarly, dependents should depend on the king. Dependents will depend, they will take orders from the king. Sometimes the king also takes orders from the people around him. So that mutual dependence will make everyone happy. And Prabhupada would be open to hear from people. Prabhupada would sometimes ask devotees, he would say to them, what do you think? What should we do? You know, Prabhupada it wouldn't be that every time the Guru, I know everything, don't you? But some Prabhupada would like to hear from people. What do you think? Oh, what should we do? So we have to be willing, we have to be open to hearing. Angira is asking him, he's asking him, is everybody under your control? When you have people around you like secretaries and servants, and he wants to know, are they under your control? Because he's got so many wives, they have to be under his control. He got a problem because these wives were not under his control.
Yes.
That's how his child died, right? The wives were not under his control. And are you in full control of the inhabitants of your palace? That was the problem. Your sons didn't have any sons. Your dependents, he just had some wives. So the master or king and his subordinates should be interdependent. Through cooperation, both of them can be happy. They have to cooperate with each other, depending on each other. So if the king's mind is controlled, then all the family members, government officers are under him. And people will pay their taxes, no problem. So Prabhupada said, Angira Rishi asked the king whether his mind was also under control. This is most essential for happiness. Peaceful mind. How do we get a peaceful mind? How are you going to get a peaceful mind?
Knowing that Krishna is the ultimate enjoyer.
Oh, yeah. Anybody else? Well, that might get you shanti, it won't get you happiness. Peace is different from happiness. Without peace there's no possibility of happiness, but happiness is something higher. What do you have to do for happiness?
Devotional service.
Well, you have to fix your mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Savaimana Krishna. The mind has to be fixed on Krishna. We have to chant the holy name. We have to hear the holy name, then the mind can be peaceful. If we're not engaging our mind properly, we won't be peaceful. So Angira tells Chitraketu, I can see your mind is not pleased. You've not achieved your goal. Your pale face reflects your deep anxiety. So Angira said, is this because of you yourself, or is it caused by others? Sometimes it's our own problem, and sometimes it's other people causing us, giving us problems. But Angira knows, he knows what the problem is. He's a great sage, he's one of the sons of Lord Brahma. So he's a great sage and he knew what the problem was, but he wants to hear from the king. He wants the king himself to express what's wrong. So Angira is inquiring, so King Chitraketu bends low in humility and he's going to speak to Angira. So face is the index of the mind. From the mind we can understand a person's condition. So King Chitraketu begins. First of all, he begins by glorifying Angira, praising Angira. He said, you are freed from all the reactions of sinful life. You're doing austerity, you have knowledge, you've achieved transcendental samadhi, so you're free from all the reactions of sin. Therefore, as a perfect yogi, you know you can understand everything regarding conditioned souls like me. You think like that. So he knows that Angira knows the problem. He said, you just want me to say. And so then text 25 he talks about, he said, just like a person may be hungry and thirsty, so you give him flower garlands and sandalwood pulp, it's not going to be very pleasing to him because he's hungry, right? Fasting, didn't eat yet, and you bring him flowers, put a garland on him, put some sandalwood paste on him, and you'll feel very good. Where's the prasadam? Yeah, you want the prasadam. So the same way, he said, the same way, although I have so much opulence and possessions, more than even the demigods, but I have no son. So save me and my forefathers. He said, we're going to go to hell. If I don't have a son, we'll go to hell. And then again in the purport said, according to Vedic civilization, one gets married simply to have a son who is needed to offer oblations to his forefathers. So what if you only have daughters? You know, if your father only has daughters, can they offer oblations for the forefathers? Huh? Do you have any brother? No. Only you? Only child? Wow. So, do you do the offering for your forefathers?
No.
You married yet?
No.
Oh. What are we going to do? Poor girl. Nobody to do the offering for your forefathers. Anyway, what's your age?
20.
20? Oh, okay. You've got some time. So, anyway, you should have a son. If you don't have a son, then you have to get the daughters married. And if you don't have children, then it's a problem. So King Chitraketu was so concerned about his forefathers because they have to do the pinda. He was concerned with how to get pinda, oblations in the next life, not only for himself but also for the forefathers. If you go to Gaya, right? Lord Chaitanya went to Gaya. Generally people go to Gaya to worship there for the forefathers. And so many people, I went there, so many people every day, so many. So Lord Chaitanya went there after his father died. He wanted to do shraddha for his father. He told his mother that. That's what he told Sachimata. But actually his real reason was to take sannyas. He wants to go there and take sannyas. Well, he didn't, not sannyas, but get initiation. Go and take initiation. So the king is asking Angira to favor him by doing something that could help him to get a son. So Sukadeva Goswami continues that Angira was born from Brahma's mind And he was very merciful. And he performed a sacrifice. And by doing the sacrifice, he offered oblations of sweet rice to Twashta.
Twashta? The same Twashta who's the father of Vishnu?
Yeah, I think so. Twashta is also a son of Brahma, isn't it?
Yes.
The sage was a greatly
Twashta is
powerful...
the son of Kashyapa. Kashyapa?
Who?
Twashta.
What, the son of Kashyapa?
Yes.
No, I think Atharva. Twashta, Atharva.
Is it?
Which one?
The son of Kashyapa and Diti. Kashyapa and Diti.
Yes.
That could be from the demigod side. Yeah. Okay, Kashyapa and Diti. Angira is from Lord Brahma. So he did a yagya and he got sweet rice. Just like we do a yagya, you know, you offer. That's a yagya, right? Make the offering, that's a yagya. So the sweet rice is offered, that's from the yagya. And then he took the sweet rice and he gave it to the king and told the king, and give it to your wife. The first and most perfect of Chitraketu's wife, Krita Duty. Krita Duty. Mahajuti, there's a devotee, Mahajuti Swami. You know Mahajuti Swami? Krita Duty. Krita Duty. She was the first, the most perfect of Chitraketu's wives. So she got the sweet rice. And now she will have a son who will be the cause of both jubilation and lamentation. And then the sage left. He just said that and then he left. He didn't wait around for anything. So he didn't wait around to explain more. So what did Chitraketu think when he heard that? How did he receive it? Haribol. How did Chitraketu receive that? Chitraketu, when he heard his son will be the cause of happiness and distress, what does Chitraketu think? Let Prabhu answer, yes? What did Chitraketu think? You don't know. You've not read that. Prabhu?
Chitraketu was happy because anyway he will be a son. So he don't very mind about distress, it's like that.
Yes, he thought, well, have a son, main thing is to have a son. But he thought, what kind of distress will come?
You will be spoiled.
Yeah, maybe he'll be spoiled because he's the king's son. So maybe he'll be spoiled, maybe he'll grow up to do some bad things and like that. But anyway,
We have a son.
have a son, that's the main thing. Right? So he thought, it shouldn't be a big problem, with the son. Alright? He thought the king's only son, being very proud of his great wealth and empire, would not be very obedient to his father. So the king was thinking, let me have a son, it doesn't matter if he's not very obedient. And he said, Prabhupada quotes, he said, better to have a blind uncle than no uncle. A blind uncle is better than no uncle. Or he said, what is the use of a son who is neither a learned scholar nor a devotee? Such a son is like a blind, diseased eye, which always causes suffering. Nevertheless, the material world is so polluted that one wants to have a son, even though he is useless. This attitude was represented in the history of King Chitraketu. Right? You want a son who is useless? You want a son who is not a devotee? He's not a scholar. You know, people like, oh, my son, you know, he got the top marks and he got this mark and he got scholarship and he went there, he studied here, he's doing his masters and this and that. You know, mother and father, they like that, to talk about the son, oh, he's doing this, and you know, they feel so good. But if the son, oh, my son's a Hare Krishna, oh. Oh my gosh. Well, one lady told me, I was in the Philippines. You know, Philippines is not very rich country. People are a little bit poor there. And this one lady was telling me, she said, oh, my daughter got married to this American man, but she had some bad luck. He was poor. Right? You get married, you shouldn't marry a poor man, that's bad luck, right? So, Trita Judy has a child, the example was given just like Lord Shiva's wife conceived a child, she had Kartikeya. Lord Shiva's wife got the semen from Agni and she conceived the child. Well, it's the semen of Lord Shiva given to her by Agni and she conceived Kartikeya. So the same way, Chitraketu's wife becomes pregnant and she's going to have a child. And then, in due course, a son was born to the king. And all the people are very happy. All the people in Surasena are very happy. Everyone's very pleased. King Chitraketu is delighted, very happy, purifying himself, bathing, decorating himself with ornaments, hired many Brahmins to give benedictions to the child and do the birth ceremony. And the king gave a lot of charity to the Brahmanas. He gave gold and silver and garments and ornaments, villages, horses, elephants. He gave 60 crores of cows. 60 crores of cows.
1 million wives.
My goodness, what do you do? You know? 60 crores, 600 million cows. That's low.
So the millions, few countries actually. Few countries.
Nanda Maharaj, cows, only 9 lakh. That's why. You say 100 times, how to manage? So many cows, feeding cows.
So just like the cloud pours water on the earth, King Chitraketu distributed all desirable things to everyone because he wants to increase his reputation and he wants opulence and he wants the long life of his son. He wanted to do all this, he wanted that, he did everything he's supposed to do. And then when a poor man gets some money after great difficulty, his affection for the money increases daily. Similarly, when the king, after great difficulty, got a son, his affection for the son increased day by day. And the mother's also very attracted to her son. Every day, more and more attracted. And the other wives, they were very much agitated. And they also wanted to have a son. Right? They'd all got married, but they had no son. So King Chitraketu took care of his son very carefully. But the problem was, he lost the affection for the other wives. Because the one wife had a son, the other wives never had a son. So the other wives, he did not take much interest in them. He didn't give them attention. He didn't care for them. They hadn't given any son. So he didn't worry, he didn't take any care about them. So they became very unhappy. And they condemned themselves. And they lamented. They were envious of Krita duty. Because although they got married, the husband doesn't speak to them. You want a husband like that? A wife who has no sons is neglected at home by her husband and dishonored by her co-wives, exactly like a maidservant. Certainly such a woman is condemned in every respect because of her sinful life. So very difficult. You know, co-wives, Maharaj Dasarath had wives, right? 3 principal wives. Problems. Wives. And then each maidservant giving service to the husband are honored by the husband, and they have nothing to lament. Our position, however, is that we are maidservants of the maidservant. So we are the most unfortunate. The wives of Chitraketu are talking like that. They said, we are the maidservants of the maidservant. So we are the most unfortunate. The one who had a child, she's okay, she's with her husband. But we're just the servants of the servants. So they were so angry, they were so envious of the other wife, that one wife, because she had a child, they didn't. So they were always thinking about this other wife, so they decided they would start to give poison to the child. Because they were so envious. You see, if you keep that kind of envy, that bitter feelings in your heart, then it will increase more and more, it will take away your intelligence. So that's what happened to these queens. They lost their intelligence. They became blind. They became hard-hearted. And they could not tolerate being neglected. They could have given poison to the king, but they gave poison to the child. And then what happens? The queen was walking in the house and she was thinking that her son was sleeping inside the house. But she did not know that her son was actually dead. And then she was thinking, child has been sleeping for a long time. So she tells the nurse, bring my son here. In other words, wake him up, bring him here. He's been sleeping for a long time. And when the nurse goes over to get to the child, then she sees, the child is dead. Because his eyes were up. The eyes are up in a dead person. There was no life. Senses had all stopped. She could see the child was dead. And she cried out and she fell to the ground. And then the queen the queen, she also wonders what's wrong. And she comes over and she sees the child is dead. And then she's also, oh. The queen came, she approached her son and she saw that he was suddenly dead. So the servants were all crying, the queen was crying. The queen fell to the ground, unconscious. Her hair and her dress, everything was knocked about. Very painful situation. And then the other queens who'd given the poison to the child, they also began to cry. They knew what had happened, but they began to cry also. So the whole palace is full of all these people crying, and little babies, and little boys dead. And then King Chitraketu gets the news that your son has died. And what? My son? Oh no! And he became almost blind, and he fell down, he was rolling on the floor. He was surrounded by all his ministers and the brahmanas, everyone. But he fell at the child's feet. And he's breathing heavily. And sometimes he'd come back to consciousness, his eyes are filled with tears, he could not speak. Oh, it's so painful, you could imagine. It's like when, in the 10th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna gives the example, when a man is poor, and then when he gets some money, then he's so happy, such a relief to get the money. But then if it happens, he loses the money again, then he laments so much that he's lost everything. So like that here you can see Chitraketu. He had no child, he wanted the child, he got the child, and then the child dies. It's so painful, it's so bad, so heavy. So he could not even speak. And the queen saw her husband, and she saw the dead child. So she also laments. Everybody is lamenting, the ministers and all the brahmanas, all the inhabitants of the palace, everyone is feeling the pain. We've lost a child. And flowers fall off her head, and the ornaments are knocked around. Kumkum powder is everywhere. And she's crying like the sound of the kurari bird. And then she begins to speak. Chitraketu's queen begins to speak to God, and she says to the Supreme Lord, "O Providence, O Creator, you are certainly inexperienced in creation." She's blaming God for the death of her son. And she said, why? She said, during the lifetime of a father, you have caused the death of his son. Right? Chitraketu is the father and child, the son, dead. So she said, this act is in opposition to your creative laws. The son should live longer than the father. But after the father goes, then the son comes. But here the son died before the father died. So how is it possible? This is not their law. This is not how it should be. So she says to Krita Juti, the wife of Chitraketu, she's speaking to God and she's saying, if you are determined to contradict these laws, you are certainly the enemy of living entities and are never merciful. Like this, she's blaming. So that's common, and people would, how could God do this to me? I'm a good person. These other people, they're rascals, and they're so happy, and they're such demons and nasty people, and I'm a good person, and I have nothing, but they have so much. How can God do this? Like that. Here the queen blames Providence for her son's death. Following creative law, father should die first, then the son. If laws are changed according to the whims of Providence, then Providence certainly should not be considered merciful, but must be considered inimical to the created being. And it's not the creator, but the conditioned soul who is inexperienced. The conditioned soul does not know how the subtle laws of fruitive activity work, and without knowledge of these laws, he ignorantly criticizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the first thing, you know, when things are really bad, you know, we think, God, oh God, how can you do this to me, you know? So in the beginning, she's talking to God, blaming Him. Nobody likes to blame themselves. Nobody will say, it's my fault. You know, we won't like to do that. I'm a good guy. I didn't do anything to deserve this, you know. It's somebody's fault. Right? You have created... The bonds of affection you have created are disturbed by fruitive action. No one will raise children with affection. Instead, everyone will cruelly neglect his children. Yeah, if we think that there's no controller, if you say that we need a controller because the material energy doesn't have the power to act. So we may ask, if the bonds of affection you have created are disturbed by fruitive action, by karma, no one will raise children with affection. Instead, everyone will neglect the children. Because you've got the bonds of affection that make a parent raise his child, you appear inexperienced and unintelligent. Right? So Queen Tajuti, she's saying to the Mother Earth, to the planet, that you've cut our attachment for our children. But it's because of our attachment to our children that we raise a child. You know, mother raises the children. It's a lot of work bringing up children. My goodness, you know, I see mothers taking care of their children. You know, it's a lot of work. It's not easy, is it? You know, they have to feed them, they have to cook for them, they have to clean them, they have to counsel them, and oh, they're crying and they're unhappy, take care of them all the time. One of the devotees I know, you know, she just had a baby a few months ago, and she came the other day, she said, baby lost 1.5 kilos in 2 or 3 days. You know, so 1.5 kilos, it's a lot of weight to lose in 2 or 3 days. So you get, you know, you have these worries. As a parent, all the time you're worried, you know, you're carrying the child, taking care, you have to, it's so much responsibility. So that affection is so important, you know. If that affection is not there, you won't want to do it. You won't want to take care. And if you think the child's going to die anytime, then, you know, difficult to have that same feeling. So Prabhupada in his purport, he quotes Brahma Samhita. When somebody is not Krishna conscious, then they are under the laws of karma. Everyone is under the law of karma except for
Devotees.
except for devotees, right? Devotees are not under the law of karma, right? So karma has been stressed. Karma mimamsa. They say it's only work. You must act according to his karma. Supreme controller must give the results of karma. Is it true? No, there's more than just karma. The laws of karma are controlled by the Supreme. That cannot be understood by ordinary conditioned souls. So we want to understand why things happen. There's a Supreme Being behind everything. It's not just karma. So Mother Krita Jyoti was she was talking to God, but now she's talking to her son again. She begins speaking to her son in text 56. She's speaking to her son. My dear son, I am very helpless and very aggrieved. You should not give up my company. And look at your father lamenting. We are helpless. We're without a son, we are helpless. You're the only hope. And she said, I request you not to go any further with the merciless Yama. Talking to her son, saying, don't go with Yamaraj, don't go with him, stay with us. And Prabhupada writes, unless one has a son to offer oblations to the Pitas, our forefathers, one must suffer in Yamaraj's kingdom. Oh, I don't know. You're lucky you're a devotee, right? Because you're a devotee, you won't suffer. King Chitraketu was very aggrieved. His son is going to Yamaraj. If one becomes a devotee, has no more obligation to the laws of karma. So Prabhupada makes that point at the end of the verse. The subtle laws exist for the karmis, but for the devotees, there's no karma. So she said, please get up. You must be very hungry, get up, suck my breast, stop my lamentation. I'm most unfortunate and I cannot see you smiling, I cannot hear your nice voice. So accompanied by his wife, Chitraketu began crying loudly with an open mouth, greatly aggrieved. And all the citizens in the kingdom were almost unconscious. So then Angira understood the king was almost dead in lamentation. He came there with Narada Rishi. So we'll hear their instructions. Very painful thing, when you lose your child. There was one devotee couple I know, and they lost their child. He was a few months old. The child was has some water in the brain.
There is one guy from the GBC wants to take pictures while you're giving class.
From where?
The GBC office. He wants to take pictures while the class is going.
What class is going? We're just finishing.
Yeah, can you take pictures quickly before?
Yeah.
Alright.
You mind? You want to take a picture?
Every class is going.
Just let them wake up. So I was saying, I knew this one couple, they had a young child. The child was only a few months old when they lost their child, Very painful, of course. Unfortunately, they had another child after that. But still, the pain, it's a difficult thing to lose a child. I gave them different things from Chaitanya Charitamrita because in Chaitanya Bhagavad it tells about Srivas Pandit, right? Srivas Pandit had a child also died one night when they were in the kirtan, and Lord Chaitanya had some instructions about that. So that's one incident, and then this incident here with Chitraketu. There's another one. What's the other place where it also happens?
The sun.
Huh? And then some other place, there was some other incident took place. Just trying to, can't remember. Okay.
Krishna's Guru, Sandipani.
Sandipani.
Oh, Sandy.
His son was taken to Yamaraj. Krishna brought him.
I have a question.
Oh, really?
Photo session over. During photo session, you should ask.
The question is that now Narada Muni and Angira Rishi, they're going to instruct Chitraketu about the soul and this, but from verse 57:8, we can understand that the mother is saying, "Don't be taken by the merciless Yama." So she knows that the son is not the body but the soul. So they already know that it's a soul. Then why do they need to get instructed again? When they understand that they're telling him, "Please don't go. Don't be taken by the merciless."
Because the soul is leaving. There's no more child there for the family.
But they know the science of self-realization.
But the child's gone from their home. It's leaving their home. It was her child, and she's losing her child. Her child has gone off to Yamalok. Yeah, I mean, she may know it's the soul, but still, it was in the body which she had conceived, the body which she had given birth to. So there's a lot of affection there, even though it's a soul. You can't say, "Well, he's a soul, why you care? He's a soul, he's going to work some other place. Goodbye. No, it was her child, and she wanted the child, and they lost the child. So, actually, although she knows it's a soul, but she doesn't want the soul to leave.
Even Maharaj said that Lord Krishna also had tears when Bhishmadev left his body. He had memories with Bhishmadev. So when Bhishmadev left his body, even Lord Krishna had tears.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Very nice.
Right.
They mentioned there in the Bhagavad
Mahabharata.
Okay.
A question about, he stated that our citizens of the kingdom were almost unconscious, but how they know immediately about this? There are that time no TV or some radio connect, because 150 years ago the letters go a few months to from America to India by ships. So now how they immediately know about what happened in this family?
He's asking, how did the citizens become unconscious, knowing that? How did they instantly
the
know?
citizens, how did they all know?
There was no
in the kingdom.
Immediately, yeah.
There was no news, TV, and
No, but news travels. Just by word of mouth, news travels.
They say the bad news spreads more faster than the fast.
Then the good.
Oh yeah, it's all bad news usually. The newspapers, they don't have any good news. there's no business. Nobody's interested in the good news. They all want to hear the bad news. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, Sri Prabhupada. Krishna.